up, everybody? I hope everybody can hear me. I just found out that Facebook now allows you to use your laptop to go live. So I'm excited because I'm like, this is so much better than using my iPhone because I have to worry about being interrupted and disrupted by freaking phone calls sometimes. Even though I put my phone on do not disturb some kind of way. I don't know if it's because of certain settings where I had people reserved to interrupt me. But either way, I just wanted to come on here real quick and talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, A Mother's Love. I don't know what episode number this is. I think it might be episode 9. We open up this episode with Portia and some gastric obstruction issues. Mainly gas, as my uncle would say. She got some fluency down there in the goods. She tried to blame it on the baby. The baby's in the sack, Portia. We just not buying it, but we come to find out that Portia, because her and Dennis still are really a new couple, she usually holds her farts in until he leaves. And I'm like, see, I don't hold nothing back. Like, just like going to the bathroom is natural, passing gas is natural. You know, you could have gotten up and went to the restroom or something and let it out that way. I mean, unless y'all doing something in the bathroom we don't want to know about. Then her sister came in there talking about, well, if you want to release it, you know, you could do some anal play to get it out. I was like, I don't let anyone. But one of my doctors during a female wellness check, let's just say she almost lost her fingers when she went in mine. So you got to warn me before you go up in my anus. I'm just saying. But Lauren, I don't see it is that's what should happen. We find out this week also that Noelle's meltdown is because Cynthia told her to play it up a little because I need to keep getting these checks because you going to Howard. And your daddy, I don't know what he's doing, but we need to make sure that you are safe and secure. We can afford to pay for your tuition. So give us some drama, Noelle. You know, use your daddy's acting genes that you inherited, okay? Because if she's in the fetal position and she's crying, she don't want to see anyone. She wants everyone to just go home. And I was like, I wish I would show up to your little going off party, and here you are acting a plum fool and telling me to go home. Girl, I'm gonna stay and eat. We can go to another part of the house. Hell, we can sit outside on this daggone deck that Cynthia got, looking at this green mossy water. But either way, you know, college can be scary, but Noelle was driving back and forth to North Carolina to be with her little boyfriend earlier this year during her gap year, and she was working and interning with a dentist because she said she wanted to be a dentist. You know what else I find interesting is the fact that Noelle is short. Her parents look like twin towers next to her. I said, how did that happen? That baby didn't get no height from no one. You know, where they come from? She didn't get no height from no one. Look, maybe whatchamacallit's mom must be little. Leon. Don't Leon still look good, y'all? Like, it's like he never aged. He's just sexy and stuff. You know, black don't crack. Yes, Lord, made in his image. Amen. I remember one time when I was in college, we used to have this online college service. It was a network. If someone remembers the name of that network, because I honestly don't, but it was like a chat room and you could meet people. I remember one time I met this dude. Oh my God, he looked just like Leon, and he went to Morehouse. I think it was. He was either Morehouse or Clark, Atlanta. I can't remember, but either way, he was fine. He looked just like Leon with dreadlocks. So anyway, needless to say, I wasn't feeling that. I know Cynthia's having a hard time, but Noelle, girl, you've been living independently for a long time, so I don't know what the dramatics was for. Because honestly, I thought maybe Howard had messed up her housing or even her enrollment. That is not uncommon in HBCUs, and I hate to say it, but I told y'all we got to do better. Number one, HBCUs need to diversify their hiring ranks and stop hiring just people that have only been to an HBCU. Because I found out when I went to Clark, I was sitting there like, oh, look, all these people in the financial aid office and everywhere else, they all went here or went to an HBCU. No, you need to get some of us that went to PWIs and state schools. That might help a whole lot change some things, because y'all be playing with people's emotions, man. They even got me, unenrolled me out of my classes because I owed $200. I was like, you didn't unenroll me until I hit 1,000. And even then they didn't. I just went in there and set up a payment plan that I never really could afford to follow through with. So, needless to say, I graduated with a bunch of debt, but I never got unenrolled out my classes. Either way, I'm just glad that didn't happen, because my friend's daughter, who was looking forward to going to a HBCU, I'm not going to call them out, but y'all really messed that up. You told that girl that all her stuff was in line, and then it really wasn't, and that's very disappointing. I like the fact that Cynthia did call Nene. I know a lot of people don't know this. Nene did go to college. She did not graduate. She attended Morris Brown. I think she made it to her sophomore year. If you read her book, her memoir, she ends up getting with her first son's daddy, and he turned out to be a no good for nothing wife beater or girlfriend beater. He was so she's a domestic violence survivor, and she talked about that in season 1 when she did her walk, or season 2. But either way, she's right. She'll be fine. Now, Nene, on the other hand, she probably should have pushed her boys a little harder, because now they just live in this rich kid lifestyle, and y'all just got rich. Okay, I don't understand why Bryson couldn't bring his big behind on up there to the store and help his mama out when she called him to come help. But I don't know. He need to go to school. He need to get a trade. He need to do something, get a job. And that other one, I guess he just making babies. I don't know. It's just, we need greatness from our Black men, Nene, and you know better. So I don't know. Either way, I'm not going to sit there and judge that lady. I don't know what maybe she feels an obligation to her sons because of what she went through early on when she had her first son. Let me go ahead and wrap up, because I wanted the key nugget that we want to get to is Mama Joyce living off of Candy, and just living off of her and not doing things like showing up to events to support her daughter. That's trifling. But with regards to Noelle does make it to school. She ends up getting a double as a single. Hallelujah. Oh, I remember all of us in our roommate situations. Lord help. Although my first roommate was my best friend from high school, so that was cool. Although we did have a falling out. We're still friends now, but back then Diva was a different person. I was not very mature then. I'm just going to say that. So I'll put that on me. But my second year, I had a double as a single. So I've always been that need for big space. That's probably why my student loan bill is so high. But yeah, I am a diva. I've been a diva for a long time. But either way, so Leon, but I like the fact that Cynthia called Leon when she was having that meltdown, and he was like, she gonna go to school and she'll be just fine. I was like, I love him, because he's just like, we ain't playing this today. We find out that Leon attended a school I wanted to attend, but I'm kind of glad I didn't get in, because I found out the law school is nowhere near the main campus, Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles or Playa del Rey. Beautiful campus, scenic views, you get the ocean, you get Marina del Rey. I mean, it's fabulous. So we know he went to school. Cynthia keeps saying, I left home at 18, but in some ways you leaving home was the equivalent of going to college. You just went to travel the world and look fabulous and rip the runways and be a supermodel. It's equivalent. So you know what it's like, Cynthia, to leave home. And your mother expressed that she was upset, which most parents are sad to see their children leave the nest. I can't say mine was. I'm sure they were glad when I left. They go out to dinner. They have a great dinner, conversation about college and how things are going to be great and fabulous. And then they put her in an Uber. I was like, oh my God, they're just going to dump this child off and put her in an Uber and send her right to campus. But I guess they can't. But Leon said, we can't go back there. We can't go back to campus. I was like, why y'all can't go back to campus? I don't know, maybe they got that rule too, but I would think that they could see her at least to the dorm door. But either way, he was really trying to cut the umbilical cord, because Cynthia and Noelle just act like there's a codependency there, when I get it. That's her only child. That's her only baby. And you want nothing but the best for your baby. Okay. Then we have a PSA by the Leaks family. We talk about prostate cancer and how Greg truly believes that God has healed him. That's all well and good, but my concern, I pray to God that it doesn't happen. My little grandma, I think, how old is my grandma? 96, 98, I don't remember. Years ago, I had a conversation with my grandmother. In that particular portion of the family, colon cancer runs rampant. Male and female, they can all get it. And my grandmother shared with me that it was a mass when they did, the ultrasound or whatever. And then when they went in, it was the size of a pea because she really prayed about this. My grandmother is a very devout woman and believes in Christ very, very much, as do I. And so she said that there was no cancer and there was no need for radiation or chemo, but MD Anderson is recommending chemo for him. And my grandmother has been cancer free ever since then. And that was like years ago. I don't remember how old I was. I think I'm still in high school, but I remember she told me that story. So, I know God can heal you. So I hope that's the case. And everybody was surprised about the amount of children that Greg has. I'm like, we saw these kids before. I don't know why that's brand new. And he was married before he got with Nene. He had been married and divorced. So, he had kids from a previous marriage. So I think it's like 5 boys. I don't know if he has any daughters. So they were talking about the importance, especially Black men. But, I can understand why somebody might not always want to go get a colonoscopy because it's, number one, it's very uncomfortable. But number two, especially at the VA, you have people being exposed to HIV and hepatitis C. Now, hepatitis C got a cure, but HIV, they still refuse to give us a cure for that. Even though I know they got it, and Lord knows Dr. Sebi found it. So either way, I thought that was very cute and a very important thing to throw in there. And, Nene kind of was like, well, if Greg don't want to do chemo, he just don't want to do chemo. Respect that. We meet Shamari. Okay, y'all. I'm going to just put it out there. I was on Instagram yesterday, and I found out that Shamari is a member of my sorority. Now, she's only 4 years old in the sorority because, Diva been rocking a long time, February 8th, 1997. What is that? 21 years is coming up hard and fast for me and my line sisters. She pledged the grad chapter, Nu Lambda Omega, I believe it was. I don't know where that is. I'm thinking that's here in Atlanta. I feel so bad now because I was like, Lord, I've been making fun of my own sister, Lord Jesus. I'm such a terrible son. I didn't know she was AKA. She didn't give me AKA She just gave me 5 me T's. I didn't know. But anyway, her and her mama were talking. Of course, Soror Shamari or Shamari. But her mom said her name differently. And my friend Crystal from Twitter, she said that she said it differently too. But either way, she was going on about how her mama worked so hard to take care of her. Her parents divorced when she was very young. And, her mom is a very successful OBGYN assistant. And I was like, I thought she was going to say an OBGYN. But maybe she's a PA. So she's a physician assistant. She essentially is just one stop short of being a doctor. So I don't know if that's what that means. Or is there really like just assistant? But, her mama was ready to fight Black Street Fighter Marlo, talking about who is this that called me a bitch. I was like, girl, while it's not appropriate, Marlo don't know you. So I would just stay away from Pop the Trunk Marlo and just keep it pooching, okay? But I think I commend Shamari for wanting to be there for her family, because at least have one parent present and accounted for. I think that's good. And I think your boys will appreciate that in the end. I'm still laughing at Leon. Noel, get your ass in the car. No, he didn't say that, but that's an inside joke between me and my friend. Hey, listen, FFE, get your ass in the car. And it's not mean or rude. It's just a joke that we have that's ongoing between us. Dress fitting. This was supposed to go better for Eva than it did the first time when she went with her dear mama, who has decided that this wedding is her wedding and that Eva should dress the way that she wants her to dress. Diva didn't cover that episode thoroughly, but we do know that once again, Eva was trying to pick out dresses and invited Nene, and Nene brought a +1 that was unannounced, and that was Hang 'em High Marlo the Moose. I feel like sometimes Marlo is just too damn aggressive. And I was team Marlo for a minute, but now she's just annoying. She is really fighting hard to get a peach that will never come. But she does make for good entertainment. And I was very, very dumbfounded and baffled by how she was just talking about, I need to see couture. And I'm just like, I'm like, Eva is a supermodel in her own right, or a model, and I'm pretty sure she knows what couture is. Plenty of labels that are allegedly considered couture, but okay, girl, you a label whore. for lack of a better phrase. Okay. Well, during this whole dress fitting, I was just very offended. For you to tell someone who just had an infant 13 weeks ago, whatever, it takes time for the body to snap back. Would you know anything about that, Marlo? Because I've never heard of you say that you carried a child to term and had to have snapback. Then she was talking about how the dress wasn't this and that. She needed to lose 10 pounds. And that's when Nene lit into that ass. I say, thank you, Nene. You should be. And the main reason why Eva invited Nene was because she felt guilty for not inviting her to the bachelorette party, which I don't think she should feel guilty for. You're not obliged to have to invite her when you just invited her to be part of the toast. You didn't invite her to be part of the party and be a bridesmaid, although Nene would say bridesmaid. Okay, so it's just par for the course. I don't even know why Marlo was there, but maybe, like someone else pointed out, maybe Bravo asked her to be there because, yeah, it'll make for good ratings. Portia and Dennis go to see their child for the first time. I heard for Rock say that, this probably really wasn't the first visit, but they wanted to make it seem like it was the first visit. But I thought it was so funny when she was putting that they were doing that vaginal ultrasound or whatever. And because it's like Portia already knows that it's a girl. So I'm like, well, y'all probably already had an appointment because you already know the sex of the child. Or maybe she was just speaking that into existence. Baby PJ, please don't call that child Portia Jr. It's so tacky. When they were putting the condom on, she was like, yes, Dennis, that's exactly what a condom looks like because you wouldn't know it. And then the doctor was like, obviously, you don't know anything about a condom, would you? I was like, of course, they're here and they've only been together 5 months. Of course they don't know what a condom is. That means that they probably been getting it in since day one. Yeah, but maybe that was part of the plan for Portia to give her Dennis and then make a baby. But people were also, I noticed some of my fellow YouTube bloggers were going in about how they couldn't believe that Dr. Jackie was not delivering this baby. I'm like, that's not the first time that we've seen that doctor. She's been on a couple of shows for Bravo and a couple of reality shows where she is the OBGYN, and apparently she's very good at what she does too, just as well as Dr. Jackie. She's just not all married to medicine. Shout out to my soror, Dr. Jackie. Hopefully one day we will meet. Got my health care. I hope you take Aetna. I need to come see you desperately. So that pretty much wraps up the episode, but let's get to the heart of the matter, which is why this episode, I believe, was titled A Mother's Love, is because we are dealing with Kandi and Mama Joyce. Okay. Kandi really has a blind spot and likes to overlook the wrong that her mother does. I think that Mama Joyce oversteps her bounds. She, to this day, is concerned about her take of Kandi's estate. She's worried about Kandi's money. Kandi, as the daughter, is feeling guilty because Mama Joyce only has 2 children and one died. Unfortunately, Kandi's brother died in an unfortunate accident, and that's a lot of guilt there. But you cannot live your life for your parents. You just can't. There's nothing wrong with providing for them, but when it rises to the level of abusive in a way, not physical abuse, but a little mental. She's tearing down your husband. Todd is a better man than I would be if I was a man, or even a girl or a wife. If the mother-in-law and I can get along, I don't know if we can work on that. I mean, as long as I ain't got to interact with her, or him, we might be good. But I just think that it's highly inappropriate how Mama Joyce just kind of comes for Todd and gets little digs in. And this man only has you were just foul to his mother when she was alive, rest her soul. And Todd, I thought you were going to treat Todd better than like a son, but you just don't want to accept the fact that Kandi is married and happily married, but she also tries to keep you happy too, which I think is very unfair, and I think it's selfish. And the other part why I think that is selfish is because you couldn't even be there for your daughter for a lifetime achievement award. Like, What were you doing on her dime where you couldn't take time out to go? You couldn't reschedule a trip. I thought that was very selfish. And I said, if I was Candy, there would be no conversation needed. What we would do is we would just go ahead and cut you off, okay? And then maybe you'll show up to something then. And I thought it was very sad that Todd had to be the one to tell your mother that you are hurting. It's like, I get we all got to respect our parents and stuff like that, but sometimes you got to let your parents know, look, you're hurting me and enough is enough. I'm tired. You got to let them know. Todd should not have been the one to have to tell Mama Joyce that. And then Candy is like, I don't know why my mama ain't been around and she ain't, I'm just like, because you allow, what you allow will continue, Candy. That's just the bottom line. And you've been letting her get away with murder for a long time. She was disrespectful about your relationship with AJ, although most of us didn't think you should be with AJ. But look what happened. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to him. But either way, that was going to be your husband. And now you were Todd, who's a great guy. He has a great eye for business and creating streams of income for you and your family, and even including the whole family dynamic. And let me pause here. Y'all send up a prayer for Candy. This week she posted. We saw Aunt Hazel, I believe, in season 2, season 3. She passed away this past week. So just keep Candy and her family in your prayers for Aunt Hazel. She sometimes, I understand, would be at old lady game. So just pray for her. But when Mama Joyce was trying to give this explanation, I didn't mean that, Todd was a lemon. I was saying you were the lemon. And then, I said that the silence of the lambs with some, it puts the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again. I was like, what is the explanation here? Bottom line is that Mama Joyce is foul. And then when Todd had to talk to her, she was still giving a runaround. Even Candy was like, what is this illogical statement? I'm a lemon tree and I produce the lemon and then y'all are lemons together and then we all fall down. And I'm just like, what is going on? And I like how Todd was like, you know what? We're going to be parents again. We're going to have 2 more kids. Yeah, we're going to have 2 more children. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And I'm like, yeah, Todd's really getting in there, so I don't know. Mama Joyce, I just really, comment down below and let me know what you think about this relationship dynamic with Candy and her mother. I think it's okay to cut off toxic parents, quite frankly. I know plenty of people that have done it, and I personally don't have a problem with it. But when your parent is codependent on you and you are their sole provider, aside from their pension plan and retirement from the mail, where did she retire from? The post office? If I was Mama Joyce, anytime Candy asked me how to jump, I would ask, how high do you want me to jump, Candy? Because your daughter's a good daughter. Don't mess it up and don't ruin her happiness. It's not fair. Because Candy don't know. She just don't know. She's incapable. And I just really thought it was sad that Todd had to bring it to the forefront that Mama Joyce was foul to her own daughter, who financially supports her very well. But I think that's all I have for this episode. It was kind of a filler episode, but we did a lot of talking about it. Let me know what y'all think about Noelle's dramatic acting. Next week, we get to see Mike Hill, baby, Cynthia's man, okay? And then we also get to see, I said Cynthia and Candy, I meant Portia. Portia finally has had enough of Candy, and apparently something happened at Todd's 45th birthday party. I didn't know he was that old. Oh, Lord. Where Portia got kicked out for allegedly chest bumping someone. I don't know what happened there. That sounds crazy, but it's Atlanta, people. It gets a little crazy down here. That's all I'm going to say. I have been Miss Sophia the Diva. Stay tuned. It will not be done live, but I am doing a video where I talk about the state of my own life at 42. I just turned 42 yesterday on January 1st. Little mixed emotions about it. And it's not that, I dread aging. I just dread that I'm not where I think I'm supposed to be. But apparently God says otherwise, since he is the author and finisher of all things here on earth. But stay tuned for that. That'll probably be up Saturday. I'm going to try to get this up later tonight on YouTube, but this is on Facebook, so y'all can enjoy it. But I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. Thank you guys for joining. Happy New Year.